Shalom family, welcome to today. The verse I have for you is Romans 8:22 through 23. It says, "We know that the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. Not only so, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption to sonship, the redemption of our bodies." Today, we are going to be discussing the Feast of First Fruits. Scripture does not specify an actual calendar date for the Feast of First Fruits, but it prescribes its time of observance to be on the day after Sabbath. This has caused some confusion because this week there are two Sabbaths. We have the High Sabbath, which is the first day of Unleavened Bread, and then we have the normal weekly Sabbath, which is Saturday. The majority believe that the Sabbath first fruits is intended to follow is the High Sabbath, so the first day of unleavened bread. I'm going with the majority today and saying that this evening we will be entering the Feast of First Fruits. The Feast of First Fruits is a one-day feast. In the Old Testament, first fruits marked the beginning of the grain harvest in Israel. God declared that the first fruits of all agricultural produce belonged to him. The first fruits of the bread dough belonged to him. The firstborn males of all animals and even the firstborn of the Israelites themselves belonged to him. The Feast of First Fruits served as a reminder to the Israelites of God's provision in the Promised Land. God led the Israelites were to acknowledge that God had rescued them from slavery in Egypt and provided them a place to live and grow crops. For this reason, they gave the first and best of those crops in thanksgiving to the Lord. First Fruits also marks the countdown to the Feast of Weeks. The Feast of Weeks is the fourth and final spring feast, and it will be 50 days from now. The First Fruits ceremony is mentioned only once in Torah, and it's not mentioned anywhere else in the Old Testament or in the New Testament. However, the concept of first fruits is directly mentioned throughout the New Testament. For followers of Yeshua, this is a day of great prophetic significance. First fruits speaks of the resurrection. Messiah would rise triumphantly from the grave on the third day, the very day of the Feast of First Fruits. He was the first fruits of those resurrected from the dead, and James taught that his church are the first fruits of his creatures. Today, my prayer is we offer the first and best portion of everything we have to the Lord in gratitude, because everything we have ultimately belongs to the Lord. I love you all. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week.